Hello and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Mohamed, and tonight we'll be talking about the Iran war and the energy markets. We'll be taking a look at the global energy market. By the way, now Brent, as we speak, is trading around $95 per barrel, and WTI, the West Texas Intermediate, around $91 per barrel. This latest decrease in prices is seemingly in anticipation of an announcement regarding the holding of a second round of talks between the Americans and the Iranians in Islamabad. Seemingly, both Washington and Tehran are inching potentially, we have to be very cautious here, seemingly and potentially inching closer to a deal. Again, seemingly and potentially. And also, seemingly and potentially, there will be announcement of an official announcement of a one-week ceasefire in Lebanon, as seemingly and potentially Israel will agree to U.S. President Donald Trump's request for a one-week ceasefire in Lebanon, which seemingly is an attempt by the U.S. President to ease the way for what he wants, and U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has said that he wants a big deal, a comprehensive deal, and not just a limited deal. You know, we had heard reports that the Americans want a 20-year suspension on the enrichment of uranium in Iran, and Iran had only offered 5. Maybe they'll find a way in the middle. The Pakistani army chief, Pakistan, the main mediator, its army chief was in Tehran earlier today. We'll see what happens. Of course, politics affect the energy markets and vice versa. We'll be talking Iran war and the energy markets in this episode with our dear distinguished guest with us here in the studio, Dr. Mohamed Sobky, the chairperson of the Egyptian International Energy Council. Engineer Dr. Sobky, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll also, of course, be talking about how Egypt has been affected by this war, specifically regarding the energy situation, the measures that Egypt has taken, and the opportunities that might lay ahead for Egypt from this crisis. Dr. Sobky, dear viewers, let's watch a report first about our main topic, and then when we come back, we will start our Q&A session. Please stay with us.
The Middle East is witnessing a sharp escalation in the U.S.-Israel war on Iran, raising fears of a wider regional confrontation with global consequences, particularly for energy markets. According to the International Energy Agency and the International Monetary Fund, continued military exchanges and U.S. support for Israel have disrupted global energy supplies, especially around the Strait of Hormuz, a key route for nearly 20% of global oil trade. The tensions have expanded to include threats to critical energy infrastructure, prompting Washington to increase its military presence in the Gulf to secure supply routes and contain further escalation. Oil markets reached swiftly, with prices climbing above $100 per barrel amid supply concerns. The International Energy Agency warned that sustained tensions could trigger a prolonged global energy crisis. The IMF also cautioned that the U.S. involvement may fuel inflation, slow global growth, and place added strain on energy-importing economies worldwide.
Thank you very much, Abir Hussein, for this report, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. And we're back here with Dr. Mohamed Sobky, the chairperson of the Egyptian International Energy Council. Engineer Dr. Sobky, first question I have to ask, I mean, politics and business, they go in tandem. Energy market and the Iran war, I mean, it's one story. So let me ask the very, what I think is the most important question here. Mr. Trump had threatened and given successive ultimatums to strike the oil and energy infrastructure in Iran if it didn't heed and talk and try to reach a deal. Iran, in turn, have threatened to hit the oil and energy infrastructure in the Gulf, in the Arabian Gulf region. Is that off the table now? Are we beyond this very bad scenario, the point of no return that some have described, the thing that really got the energy markets very nervous and got oil to reach something like $120 per barrel, be it Brent or WTI? Are we totally past that point,
well,
or not?
I would believe that we are past that, and the previous announcements of hitting either side was just like a pressuring tools, because I mean hitting these oil or fuel resources in general, either in the Gulf area or in Iran, definitely will affect the whole world. And the whole world actually, as a matter of fact, is affected. What happened over the last few weeks showed how fragile is the energy balance market around the world. And a lot of the countries did resort to use their strategic storage, especially in Europe, just to keep their supply available, regardless of its cost. And that happened not only in Europe, China as well. And I would say this war, from an energy point of view, will turn into a new balance between the different countries around the world. China will definitely look at a more diversified resources of fuel, as well as Europe. On the other hand, our regional countries of the Gulf area, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, up till Morocco, actually will have to look on strengthening our storage capabilities. That's something in order to be able to face any future risks. These future risks might be quite foreseen, like what happened in the Strait of Hormuz or Bab el-Mandeb. I mean, this is quite possible. So, and that shows how fragile is the whole market is. So, increasing our interconnection between the different countries, physical interconnection, storage capabilities, definitely will help all the countries in avoiding such bottleneck which we are experiencing now. That's something all countries have to work on.
Very important point.
Yes.
And you're telling us, Dr. Sobky, that not only will this war hopefully an end to that war very soon, not only will it bring a new world order, according to some experts, especially the political strategists say, we're witnessing a shift in the world order, maybe back towards a bipolar or a multipolar world instead of a unipolar world we've been living in since 1991. The liberation of Kuwait War or the Desert Storm. But we're also going to see a new balance. This is what you're telling us, a new balance in the energy market and a new balance in the world's economic order as well.
Yes, that's true.
With all the challenges and the opportunities, and you are hinting at opportunities here.
Actually, yes. The challenges facing all the countries will definitely will need to look at them as also what are the associated opportunities. Like if we take the example of Egypt.
Please.
Egypt might have been partially hit by this crisis. Israel have stopped its supply for natural gas to Egypt, and that represents around 15 to 20% of Egypt's needs in natural gas. And Egypt also is affected not by the the supply, the diversity of supply, but mainly the prices, the cost of acquiring fuel products, natural gas, have hiked up, as we have seen in the report a few minutes ago.
And Egypt is a net importer, but by a small margin, right?
Exactly, it's a net importer, but also if we look at the natural policy of Egypt over the last few years.
The economic reform program, yeah.
Yes. For example, the program of connecting to Cyprus natural gas resources is going according to plan. The increasing the capacity of the Summit pipeline between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. That
we've heard a lot about Summit in the past few weeks.
Oh, yes.
I guess this is an opportunity for Summit.
It is definitely, because the Gulf countries and Saudi Arabia are trying to utilize now what's called the
East-West line?
East-West line, and that East-West line have been there for some time. It wasn't utilized fully to its capacity. It partly was to feed some resources to some parts in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
But now this pipeline has gained more importance, strategic importance.
Because it avoids Hormuz. I mean, it doesn't need Hormuz.
It avoids Hormuz and it avoids Bab el-Mandeb.
Right.
Both. And the Summit pipeline, when it was doubled almost 10 years ago, was also not fully utilized. Again, it is being now fully utilized. In addition to that, Egypt is offering, and I guess there is certain initial agreements between the Emirates and Egypt on utilizing some of the storage, the fuel storage and gas
in Egyptian ports.
in Egyptian ports. This storage will be, I would say, an economic, a good economic chance for Egypt to play a more strategic role now and in the future.
We're talking about Mediterranean ports, right?
Mediterranean ports.
Right.
And
so you're telling us that actually the situation might bring to Egypt an opportunity to expand its position and to improve its position as a hub for energy trade.
And yes, exactly. And that what's happening now is showing that Egypt can exercise a vital role in this area, not only in petroleum products, actually also in fertilizers. You know, Egypt is around number 5 or 6 around the world regarding its production of fertilizers as well as exporting its fertilizers. Now, the Gulf area is another important source.
Absolutely, the Gulf is one of the biggest producers of fertilizers globally.
Exactly. Now, if Egypt, we can increase our production of fertilizers, if we can increase our production of fertilizers and not affecting our domestic market, yes, then that's another opportunity. It has to be calculated, of course, from an economical point of view.
Or maybe also help transport the Gulf region's fertilizers, again, via land routes. And
yes, definitely. And I mean, land routes need to be further inspected. I mean, how far can they be utilized in parallel to pipelines as well as in parallel with the normal going around the Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb,
and of course land routes might also in some cases require also getting past the Red Sea as well, the northern part of the Red Sea.
And then you need to expand on your ports, and this is a new economical activities on a national way, and also it strengthens the economic relations between the Gulf area, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so on, increasing this economical ties and strengthening them will...
This is very important because Israel, Dr. Sobky, has not hidden anything.
No.
I mean, Israel has spoken about exploiting the situation.
Exactly.
And the Israeli war crime suspect prime minister has talked about, his offers to help ease the situation through the Israeli ports. So they want to exploit the situation of the wars they have instigated.
Exactly.
And don't want to see an end to.
And so actually they are looking for economical benefits. I think we can supersede them in this, but we need to act aggressively and swiftly on this.
We are ready, right? We have the infrastructure.
We have the infrastructure and we have the good relation and good intention of cooperation. Egypt have announced very clearly over the last few weeks its support to the Gulf area, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to their safety as well as their prosperity. So Egypt is a strong ally to...
That's the natural position of Egypt, a big brother or sister to all of the Arab countries, and also this is part of Egypt's own national security, if you talk about Arab security in general. Dr. Sobky, speaking again of the Arab countries and of the oil infrastructure and energy infrastructure, what's the damage like that has occurred to the Gulf Cooperation Council's infrastructure in oil, gas, and electricity in that war? And also, I want to ask about Iran, because Mr. Trump says that he has sent Iran back, not to the Stone Age. He has retreated from that, seemingly, but 20 years back, this is what he said. So what is also the damage that has happened to their energy infrastructure, and how will this affect, again, what you called, and I'm sure many people agree with you, what we've discovered to be the fragile market that the world is facing?
Well, what happened over the last few weeks showed the resilience of the Iranian system. And they're still, I mean, they might be losing at the end, but
militarily,
but they sustained themselves as a nation facing any potential damage. So again, to recover and go into a normal state in the Gulf area and Iran as well, that will take few years, definitely few years. And it shows also that instead of having conflicts between the countries and the neighbors, they need to further cooperate with them. And again, it just showed that war is a damaging thing for everyone, and everyone will come out of it as a loser. The states, Israel, Iran, and the Gulf area. But again, it showed
These were the words of the president, by the way. The President Sisi said, war only brings about destruction.
Yes.
And there are no winners. And by the way, the UN Secretary General also said the same words.
And that's something which we all have to realize. We have to realize that we need to work collectively in a cooperative way, and also try not to influence each other.
Right.
Maybe that
to respect the
sovereignty,
no interference. Exactly.
And again, joint economical benefits will bring prosperity to the whole area. The war also, I would say, I'm not a military expert, but again, it showed that countries, Iran, the states, and so on, did test their technologies and the accuracy of their technologies. And how this
I understand what you want to say, but
I mean, reached really a top notch as compared to few years ago.
Right.
Okay, we have tried that, we have experienced that, let's just stop. I mean,
and maybe it also proved that that despite the big gap in power, in technology, but you know what? If you have that level, the Iranian level, let's say, then it might be enough to resist. I mean,
Yes.
even if you are resisting against the biggest
Yes.
power
Yes.
in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
Dr. Sobky and dear viewers, allow us to get in another dear distinguished guest with us over the phone. He is General Dr. Mustafa Hadhoud, the former governor of Al-Bahira, and of course the expert on oil, gas, and petrochemicals. Engineer Dr. Hadhoud, thank you very much for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Dr. Hadhoud. With me here is Dr. Mohamed Sobky, the chairperson.
My best greeting for him.
Yes, thank you.
Greetings also to Dr. Hadhoud.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hadhoud. So tell us, Dr. Hadhoud, how do you see the situation at the moment in the war, first of all? Are we moving towards a second round of talks and an end to this war, or do you think things will get complicated before they improve?
No, I think this war is war, we can name it the war of petrochemicals and energy and polymer materials. United States and Israel, their aim is to destroy and damage all industrial facilities and all universities and schools and all people working in this field. Why? Because the production of petrochemicals and polymers are very important for all the human. Now, people in all of the world depend on about 75% of synthetic polymers in their fields, either in fibers, either in rubber materials, plastic materials, in paints, in adhesives, because the natural materials in these fields satisfy only not more than 25% of the requirements of the world. So they try to damage all the abilities and the capabilities in this field in Iran, and on the other side, Iran try to damage all facilities in the Gulf countries, in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in Emirates, Bahrain, and Qatar, and Iraq. This means that the result of this war to damage all facilities, and especially the human, because they destroy also the faculty, not only the faculty, but also the research centers and the universities and schools graduated people in this field. This is very bad for the human and in the world. Why? Iran and the Gulf area produce not less than 15 up to 18% of the world production. So destruction of these facilities make shortage in the world.
Right.
So who will more benefit for whom? The benefit will be for Israel, United States, China, Korea, South Korea.
So you're telling us, Dr. Hadhoud, that this was a war for oil, and we've heard the U.S. President say, okay, let's come to America and buy our oil, and the world the world now is coming to buy our oil. This is what he said in the past few days, and had said it before in the past few weeks, especially after executing the naval blockade on Hormuz himself, and preventing the Iranian oil from going out. So you're telling us, in your personal opinion, this war was for oil?
Oil and the products based on oil. Not oil and the natural gas,
right?
And all products based on these materials. Okay. This is very bad for all of the world, because he need to say that Arab countries must return and Iran to previous century and prevent all the civilization occurs and the growth of economic and the growth of industry in this field. So this is very bad war, and I feel that all European countries and China and Russia push United States and Iran to finish this war and return the situation as normal countries, and also, but United States try to damage Iran totally, and especially in these fields of scientific, and also these polymers and petrochemicals can be used partially in production of military equipments, production of rocket propellant, production of explosives, production of ammunition, production of rockets. So these products affect civilian and the military production.
Right. Dr. Hadhoud, are we getting closer to an end to the war, or do you think that we still have ways to go?
I think there is requirements for all of the world to stop this war, and I see that they will make, they will finish the war, but they try to make and push Iran to make contract or to sign agreement for the benefit of United States and Israel. This is the requirements of United States and Israel. So how that Iran can agree for this agreement or not? But I think the war to be enlarged, I think it will not be enlarged, because United States, as they said, that they make fulfillment of their requirements, they destroy a lot of factories, destroy a lot of universities, destroy a lot of military equipment, but still Iran has capability to continue this war.
Right. So very briefly, Dr. Hadhoud, are we going to see an end to the war?
I hope that it will be ended. I see because there is a direction to in Lebanon to finish this war and to sign a peace agreement between Israel and Lebanon. At the same time, all of Arab countries wish to finish this war because they have big problems against the economy of Arab countries. So I see that United States and Israel, they said that they success in this war, and they destroy all military facilities in Iran and the facilities in Hezbollah and in this area. So for this reason they can agree, but they need to more stress on Iran to stop scientific work in these fields, to stop production of ballistic missiles, to stop production of any nuclear equipment.
Yeah. We'll see, of course, if the warring parties do finally get a deal inked. Thank you very much, Engineer Dr. Mustafa Hadhoud. General Hadhoud is the former governor of Al-Bahira and, of course, the petrochemicals professor and expert. Always a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Back here with Dr. Mohamed Sobky, the chairperson of the Egyptian International Energy Council. Dr. Sobky, oil now is trading at 95, that's Brent, and 91, that's WTI West Texas Intermediate. If we get a deal, when will prices go back to normal? I mean, before the war, it was around $70, and maybe a little bit less. Mr. Trump says that he believes that prices will fall immediately after the war and will go back to pre-war levels and even less. But the International Energy Agency, the IEA, says that it believes that prices will stay up for a sustained period of time, even after an end to the war, if it does end. What do you personally think?
I would back up the IEA point of view here, because actually different countries around the world will try to work on having a more secure reserve.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that will keep the prices a bit high for some time. I would say, again, we're speaking about an order of somewhere around the 6 months or even slightly longer, but definitely.
And where would that high be? The 90s, the 80s? Where would it be? I'm not going to say over 100 because no one imagines that it will be over 100 unless the war continues.
Yes, exactly. I would say it will settle down for some time around the 80s, and then it will go back to the order of 70s and so on. But this will very much rely on the capabilities of the different countries on securing long-term supply contracts as well as strategic storage.
Mr. Hormuz is the reason. Some have, said, Dr. Sobky, that this is Iran's actual nuclear weapon, Hormuz. I mean, even the former Russian president and prime minister, Mr. Medvedev, said so. Yeah, he said Iran has tested its nuclear weapon successfully, and that nuclear weapon is Hormuz. The Hormuz Strait. But of course we're seeing what's happening around Hormuz. Does anyone really understand what's happening now? I mean, the flow is improving. The Iranian ships are being prevented by the Americans. And even those ships destined for Iran or coming out from Iran are being prevented. We don't know what's happening with the Chinese ships because it was difficult to imagine what would the American Navy do if a Chinese ship passes by. So we're getting mixed reports. The Chinese ships are passing by. Other reports say no, they are not. Do we really understand what's happening in Hormuz? And how can you improve the situation in Hormuz by making another blockade? I mean, this is what the Americans have done.
Yes.
The Iranians are blocking, and then the Americans make it double block, and then all of a sudden the traffic is improving. We understand nothing. I mean, we are confused. Many of us are confused.
Everyone is confused.
Could you clear this up for us?
Well, no, I will add to the confusion, as a matter of fact. I mean, it is, again, a game of power. And I would say economies like China and the Far East in general will not allow this blockage activity to sustain for a long time. So there is a lot of pressure on both parties, the Americans and the Iranians, to really to settle on an agreement, regardless of the outline of this agreement, enrichment of uranium and so on. So again, the whole world and the strong economies and the emerging economies as well will not sort of permit this to prolong. Are the other economies affected, the emerging economies of China or even Russia and Europe, would allow this blockage to remain? My assessment, they don't want that. And maybe the call by the French president saying, we'll look into this.
Yeah, the Europeans want to make their own NATO,
yes,
their own force, their own, and they stress on this. It will be strictly defensive and strictly. They're not getting into the war, but they want to help the situation in Hormuz.
I would say both countries,
the French and the British,
the British are trying to work on a solution which will not end by a war or something like that. And also there is certain, and again, I'm not a politician, but there is politics between United States and Iran. There is certain stubbornness in their acting now, and
there's a lot of stubbornness.
There is a lot of stubbornness, and actually, I would say, my assessment is we're trying to pull out of it with everyone declaring victory in a way or another. Iran would say the system did not fall, did not fail, so Iranians, whatever
And they did show a lot of steadfastness in resisting the aggression.
And that, in a way, is something which the states did not want.
And they took the world's economy hostage.
Yes.
According to the description of some. The world's economy was a hostage by Hormuz, again, Mr. Hormuz.
Yeah. But again, the United States will claim victory, saying that they have delayed the
nuclear program
and so on. It's yet to settle around the uranium, the enriched uranium, and I would say that in a way is explaining why Pakistan is getting involved, especially Pakistan. Pakistan is a nuclear country.
Absolutely.
So, and they are neighbors in the area. So they definitely would be interested in knowing where this uranium will settle down, in which part of the world. Is it going to remain in Iran? Is it going to move to other parts? Now, moving this uranium to other parts of the world has its own limitations as well.
Right.
I mean,
it can't go to North Korea, say.
It cannot go to North Korea. It cannot go to Russia even. Russia is...
Yeah, the American president is saying now that that offer about the uranium going to Russia no longer stands on the table. But he has said a lot of things and retracted and changed his mind. So I'm not sure if he really means that.
Maybe that uranium will end up in Pakistan. Maybe. I mean, but that's another danger situation. So again, we'll see how the talks, the presumed talks, which
you see, Dr. Sobky, there was a lot of double standard here that sometimes, just crosses your mind. What about the Israeli uranium? What about Israel being, having a nuclear weapon and having hundreds of nuclear weapons, and it not being not a member of the NPT? So why is it okay for Israel to have hundreds of nuclear bombs, but it's not okay for this or that country? And if the Americans say that Iran is the #1 source of evil or terror, or at least that's the Iranian claim, that's the American claim, then you can find many here in this region, especially many countries around the world, would say that Israel is the #1 source of evil and terror. Look what happened in Gaza.
What's happening in Lebanon.
In Lebanon, the West Bank.
Again, it's a matter of definition by each party. But again, I would say that that conflict would be a strong starting point for other countries around the world to say, let us assess the nuclear capabilities in countries like Israel. That has to be part of sort of a global negotiation and not a bilateral negotiation between Lebanon and Israel or any other country in the region. Again, in a way, the both sides, the American, Israeli, and Iran, each side did show a level of aggression. And again, are we on the edge of a third world war?
Clash of civilizations.
Yes, clash of civilization. And I would say that needs to be really looked at carefully by all countries around the world to support the current negotiation and to end up not with bilateral agreements, but a more global agreements on how countries have to deal with the nuclear resources they have.
Indeed, Dr. Sobky, and you see the voice of the wisdom and logic and peace that you are talking is the voice of Egypt.
Definitely.
And the voice of Turkey, we're listening a lot from Turkey about that. You know, we want peace. We want justice and peace.
Definitely.
They go together. We
Definitely.
don't want wars. We want
and
a
actually,
just peace for everybody.
yes, and I would say Turkey and Egypt managed not to slip into this war in a way or another. And that's really a real positive thing.
Of course, Cairo and Ankara are the mediators along with Islamabad. And we all hope and pray that their efforts will succeed because they are voices of peace, simply. Thank you very much.
You're
Dr.
most welcome.
Mohamed Sobky, Engineer Sobky, is the chairperson of the Egyptian International Energy Council. It's been a great pleasure, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for watching us. Please stay with Nile TV.